Show Student Edition is brought to you by British University Vietnam.
Hi everyone, my name is Ling and people usually call me Haley. At the moment, I do modeling and I have two businesses. One is called the In Concept, a green destination to fulfill your heart and with 7 plans. And the other one is called Like Day Refill Station, a zero-waste store. And we're selling environment-friendly products. And remember to bring your bottle because you can refill anything you need at home at our store.
So that was an introductory video about our beautiful Haley Tông. I have got to say, I'm very excited for this talk because I myself am such a big fan of yours and I followed you on social medias since I was back in high school, so like 5-6 years ago. And I'm very honored to have you as a part of my life through that social media. And I think I speak for a lot of us when I say Haley has been an inspiration to really go after a lot of amazing things in life. And I see you as a rule breaker and somebody who always goes above and beyond expectations. And I think this relates very closely to the perception of a self-image or the projection of an image. And usually when we discuss Tông Khánh Linh and we see her in the media, we see Haley Tông described as a very good girl, a person who has a very proper image. But also through that social media, I see that you ride motorbikes and you venture into different business pursuits and you do a lot of charity work. And there are a lot of activities that go beyond just the labels that are put upon you. So I'm very curious, do you pursue those routes because you want to expand your labels and your titles, or is it just this natural embracing of who you genuinely are?
Wow. Okay, hi sweethearts, like how you doing? It's really nice and honored to be here and meet you in person. You're so pretty, I have to admit that. Stop. So for the question, it's really like it's very an interesting question for me, and I think maybe yes, I am a rule breaker. Like I felt like we have no limit in the limitation in this life, who the control is us, and yeah, for me, decades like women in general have sharpened by many prejudices, and we have to be thankful to all the feminists who have fought for it and to become the world we have today, right? And when we mentioned about women, why we have to share like women with one stereotype, right?
That's right.
And stereotype in dictionary is means already itself. But for me, like the dictionary has a lot of beautiful words and sounded words. Like for example, I like combination or the synthesis of everything. And I found like it doesn't matter who you are. Like for example, me, it doesn't matter for me. But what matters for me the most, like do I feel, you know, happiness? Do I feel freedom? Do I feel valuable during the journey?
So I think there's equal parts in you embracing your own person and equal parts you challenging yourself to different adventures. And I think that's the best way to develop a personality and also a career, because it's not enough just depending on what you feel like doing, I guess. And there needs to be a certain discipline when we follow through with ventures. So and now that we're talking about, you know, business and careers, I know of Haley Tông as a person who has multiple career paths. So you started out as a model, and you were very well known in the modeling industry and the fashion world. And then Helly Tống also took a pause, I felt, in that modeling business, and then she turned into a businesswoman with Ean Concept and also Lại Đây Refill Station.
Right.
And now you're a part influencer and also still a businesswoman through and through. And you also work for a non-profit government institution, which is
Soul Foundation.
Right. So there are so many aspects of your career. Which aspect do you think truly resembles who you are as a person?
You know what? Your questions like have repeated so many times for me because as everyone look at me like, oh, why does she has a lot of roles and characteristics? And I honestly, when I answer you like now, I don't know. Because sometimes I feel I might be many things, but nothing simultaneously. For example, look at the table. It could be many things. If we look at it with many purposes, like it could be the working table, dining table, or decoration table. But it could be nothing and useless when you don't use it anymore. And I find out life is impermanent. It's really, So that's why when you ask me that question, I don't know, honestly.
I think the discussion of impermanence needs to be a daily practice.
Right.
When we understand that, nothing is permanent and everything can be anything, it's a, like you said, like freedom is something that is very important to you. And I think the acknowledgement of impermanence allows for that freedom. And in a way, it allows for us to be many things at once so that not one factor determines who we are. And I guess that answers my question really nicely. Like not one business venture or not one personality trait defines you, Helly Tống, but like Helly Tống is anything and everything, you guys. And I am living for this talk. I am very excited, but I'm gotta be, a host. But anyway, thank you. On to our next question. So I think in the concept of impermanence, another adjective that ties very nicely into the topic is flexibility. Though it's very freeing to know that you can change. So I know that you are a person of many roles, and you've said not one role particularly defines you. How do you achieve that flexibility, and how do you achieve that balance in those roles?
Like entrepreneur and modeling may be my right-hand job, but the other one just my hobby. So it's the layer. Like, okay, you said this is your career, you focus on it, and you can make it multitasking with it because it's the same core value, same vision, same mission, and same thing to do. What you matter is like how your schedule is fit well. But the other is hobbies. Hobbies is what you came home and you like to play it, enjoy it. It's like me time, right? Yeah. But I have to admit that sometimes multitasking is really unhealthy if it's under control. Like maybe you have planned on Friday, but some predictable plan happen on Friday too. How you handle it? And if you handle it, are you sure that you can multitasking at the same day? And I used to have the experience that I try to overwhelm everything in the same day. And I find out like I forget to eat, I forget to, rest my time, and I didn't have enough time to, sleep. So I find I was really unhealthy sometimes. So make sure that you know what you do, but make sure that your body is good to do it too. Yeah.
So I believe you've emphasized on the importance of multitasking, but also a deep, meaningful multitasking. So you need to be able to complete each task well and then be able to juggle those tasks too. But I think a very important adjective that needs to be associated with multitasking is balance, right? So what is your perception of balancing? So how do you balance when you multitask?
I have to say I'm really impressed when you mentioned Tiff balance. Multitasking style really great. For me, like we humans, we have create a lot of physical spaces, and we try to make it beautiful in the way we desire. But we forget something. We forget to view the inner space. And the more you concentrate and think about it, like you are what you eat, right? You are what you read. You are who you surrounding with too. That's really matter. So that's imbalanced way. And for now, we can see like everyone live in the city have the same feeling. Sometimes we forget that feeling because when we was young, we have a lot of time without social media. We surrounded by the nature. We connecting to the people around us, like our parents, us, and stuff like we want. Like you maybe used to have a baby doll, right? Like I used to have a baby doll too. But now even everything we really like in the house, but somehow we forget how to feel that we can't, interact with it. Yeah, so I think if you concentrate every time you do in the moments, the here and the now, it means like you get the balance in your day.
So balance, I think the term for it, like even the technical term for it is being present.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your sharing. And that, you guys, is Helly Tông of Our Present, Being Present, here with us today in IFO. And I am more than delighted to discover more about you. It's particularly Helly Tong's green lifestyle and her childhood, because I think that is what builds character, builds a personality. And I am more than excited to continue this talk right after we go to On The Go.
Come ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
So for last week's On The Go, we had Thu Dương and Trang Nhung visit DAV and FTU, and this week we're going to be able to visit a very cool school in Ho Chi Minh City. And today, you're going to meet Thu Dương aside one of our brand new hosts. I am so excited for her appearance, and I'm sure you guys can guess who she is by now. But now, without further ado, let's go to On The Go.
Next on IFO Nightly Show.
Right now, I'm standing at Lý Thường Kiệt Street to soon discover one of the biggest campuses in town. Right now, I'm standing at Lý Thường Kiệt Street to soon discover one of the biggest campuses in town. Can you guess which one is that? Correct! It's the Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology. Fun fact, I once got straight admission to this school, so I always wondered what would have happened if I studied here. I think probably I would have gotten married by now. Anyway, to discover the student life here, let's meet with one of the university students. Good. Are you excited as me? Let's go! Hello, Good. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, thank you.
We are so happy to have you here on the show.
My pleasure too.
Can you tell a bit about yourself to the audience?
Hello everybody, my name is Đặng Xuân Cường and I am a junior at Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology, majoring in petroleum engineering, and I'm the vice president of OIC Student Ambassadors Club.
Oh, that's so awesome. Can you share a bit about your major and why did you choose this major?
My major is petroleum engineering, and fun fact, I chose my major off of a movie. I was introduced by my dad to this awesome action flick, Armageddon, starring Bruce Willis, and I see these petroleum engineers use their knowledge, their ability, their skills to save the world from a falling asteroid. So I was very much inspired from them.
It's like having a superpower, right?
Yes.
Is it very difficult to get into the school?
So this university has been a long historic name in the city. So there might be some difficulties, but if you study hard, you trust, you believe in yourself, and confidence is the key. So you don't have to worry that much if you're willing to join this university.
That's so true. And there's also a stereotype about technology students is that they are very geeky and very nerdy and don't have a social life. What did you think about that?
Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology, of course, in the past days, they were famous for being geeky, like you said. But nowadays, look at me. I'm vice president of an ambassador club. I get to host, welcome students from partner universities, from different countries like Japan, Malaysia, Australia. And not only that, last year, my club even hosted OSV International Festival 2021. Stay connected with guest singers, performances, and booth activities for you to have fun with your friends. And basically, that's it.
I also think that the stereotype is so outdated right now. Like, all technology students that I know are so cool, Exhibit A. And I also want to learn more about the student life here, and especially in the campus. So can you take us to one of your favorite places in school?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more.
Ta đều sinh ra với những số phận khác nhau, những cái ngày muốn vươn mình trước trời gió đầy khát khao. Và chẳng cần cậu phải nói một lời nào, mình vẫn cảm nhận được một trái tim đầy hoài bão, háo hức và nôn nao. Ignite your passion to light the way. Và thành công đã nắm chặt trong tay. Ignite your passion to fly away. Mình cùng nhau xây thế giới ngày mai. Come and ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
Thank you, Phương Anh and chị Helly. So this season, we're welcoming our new host, and her name is Phương Anh, and she has decided to become one of our MCs from her position as a pageant. And it must have been a very big decision for her. And she is just such a great person. And I personally very admire people who are bold enough to make big decision changes in terms of career paths, especially once they move from a position that is already well known into a position that is less well known or less glamorous, might we say. And I think chị Helly also embodies that change, that shift. And I want to ask you about your lifestyle more. Now that we know the Helly Tống that is occupied with her business and her career, I want to get to know more about Helly Tống personal life or her lifestyle. And I want to open up with a discussion. So recently, when we discuss fashion, we discuss the consumerist industry of fabrics, we usually hear the word sustainable trend. So I feel like sustainability has been repackaged as something that can be sold and purchased very fast. And that is a paradox in and of itself, because anything fast fashion is not sustainable. So when we claim that a fashion product is sustainable and we sell it as that, it's very harmful towards everybody involved, I think, towards the consumer who are misguided towards the products. And what is your reaction when you hear that sustainability is being sold as a trend?
I trigger and I started because when I have chance to traveling around the world. Like when I visit Americas, I feel like, okay, they have a lot of buildings. It's really nice, but I feel so overwhelmed, And then when I travel into Bhutan, it's the happiest country in the world. I feel like, oh, they don't have buildings. They have a lot of nature. And somehow the king protect it very well. The concept of sustainability, how we use the energies in this generation, but still give that for the next generation. Because everything we produce now from the nature. And if we continue to do the same, the scary part's gonna happen. And when you mention it about fashion and sustainability way, I don't claim that when they found it like 1 decade before, ago, because I think like the mission when they began is just how to make people feel confident when they wear the dress and the fashion they produce. But for now, they have to rethink about it because everything has changed. Like maybe the vision the same, like make you feel beautiful and confident when wear it. But mission maybe changing a little bit, like how I produce it in a sustainable way. So I think any century has its own story. It has to be. Because we all here, it exists for the reason. And maybe the last generation, they saw them, already showed the problem. And now the generation us have to get the new challenges to solve the new one. Yeah.
And a green lifestyle is about, creating a sustainable future for further future generations.
Right.
And that essence needs to be captured by all industries, but when it is captured by the fashion industry, it needs to be clear of what it's doing. Like it needs to be aware that this is the message. This is not just a label that can be smacked on a product, right?
Ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
Like I said before, I followed Haley Tông for 5 years, 6 years, and I know of you as one of the leading influencers in the Vietnamese influencer world when we talk about green lifestyle and sustainability, even in fashion and also in other lifestyle products. So how have you turned this into a part of you, such an integral part that defines your brand, let's say?
Well, I say when I create the ink concept, I didn't think about, it's going to be the long journey in the future. Because when it was that time, I just think very easily, okay, I want to inspire people to have lint in their house. But then the more I get along in that journey, I found I can sell a lot of the other story too. Like for example, like now we have the other product like terrarium in Kokkedama. Are you sure you know that?
I know terrariums.
Yeah. For example, the terrarium was discovered in 1840 by English botanist when he was studying development of caterpillars. So when you look at the terrarium, it's just like the small forest, right?
Yeah.
And when we look at that, we're just like, okay, we know everything about the ecosystem of the forest, and we know like it's can run by itself. Somehow doesn't need human in that. But in 2018, I found with my partner like a review station with different perspective. Because I felt like Vietnam was one of the top 5 that pushed the trash to the landfill in the world. That's too bad. And we still a customer. I was thinking about like, okay, how to get I went to the supermarket, but how can I reduce the plastic? And I think about, okay, why don't we make a concept in the store that people can come and review it if they need. So it's just shaped the way the concept that I do in that time. And until now I do, some foundation. I didn't expect that I'm gonna contribute myself for, non-profit organization until I found like, okay, I want to do something more. Like for example, I want to, plant more trees. And I think like if I found the soulmate organizations, I can contribute for that organization. Because if you go alone, you just go fast. But if you want to go bigger, you have to go with a team. And then for now, just like, Steve Jobs, connect all the dots. And somehow the law of attraction happens in that way. Like you just do what you feel the best for you, but the same core value. And one day, like now for me, I feel like so lucky because everything's happened, like the lines of the story in my life. Yeah, and green lifestyle just happened the same too. Yeah.
So I think it's very beautiful how you have turned it into a core value. It's not just something that you practice in a fashion sense. Like I'm saying fashion as like how you put on accessories, for example. And a green lifestyle for you is not just something you don't. Like it's not something you put on your person and let it be it, but you let it become a part of you, and therefore it follows you through different stages and different ventures of your life. And I think that is such an inspiring story.
And somehow you remind me of the quote I really like, that what you think, you believe, and what you believe, you become.
Now that we've gotten to know your philosophy and your practice, I want to trace back and find the root of that philosophy. So this season, you guys, is a season dedicated to the student life. And I genuinely believe the time we spent in university, or like the time we spent in school, cultivates a personality for whatever that is to come. And I really want to know what happens in your student life too, to see if the great Helly Tống was as great in her student life. We'll be back with you very soon, but now it's another section of On the Go.
Viva student life.
Wow. Look at this. So many cool stuff.
Really, so many memories.
Good memories or bad memories?
Yeah, both.
Hi, we're back on the IFO On The Go, and right now we're standing at the heart of the campus, which is
The B6 building, which belongs to the Civil Engineering Department. And to be more exact, we are standing at the Experimental General Physics Laboratory. And wow, these equipments give me memories.
so advanced and so sophisticated. Do you often go here?
Well, on my first year, when I had a subject that required me to get to this room, so I think it was basically every week I have to be here.
Like, what is this equipment is for?
This is for the study of light radiance through these specialized lenses. I think, from what I remember, it was powered by this power supply. Well, like on the note here, it's 6 volts.
So if we put a light here, there will be like a spectrum of rainbow coming out, right? So it's like the album cover of Pink Floyd, you know? Okay, a lot of cool gadgets here. Can you tell a bit about the schedule of your studies? Is it very hectic, or do you have a lot of classes at school?
Well, that depends on the curriculum that your major requires you to study. But you're a student, if you're a student at any university, I think that you have the choice to choose your schedule. So it will be more comfortable for you if you get to choose.
You're also in your 3rd year, right? So which means that you're about to have an internship.
Yeah, an internship and then graduate.
Oh yeah, are you excited for the internship?
Well, I have mixed feelings for it. I'm worried. I might not get any companies, but excited because I'm about to embark on a new journey. Meet new people, experience new stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure you do well. Oh, look at this board.
Yes.
What language is this?
I'm still traumatized by this.
Same here, just by looking at it.
Yes.
Do you have to memorize all of this?
I think that, yes. I remember I have 8 different kind of experiments, and those experiments have like more than a dozen of errors like this in formulas, and I have to study all of that just for the final exam. Yes.
So when looking back at your 2 years of studying at the campus, do you have any advice for new upcoming students on how to have a good academic performance here?
For all you newbies out there, if you study hard, if you attend your classes enough, and ask your teacher if you have any problems, then I don't think that it will be much of a challenge for you to study here, especially this subject.
I'm sure that if you get to study in cool classes here and to get to meet talented people like Kung, then we will have lots of motivation to go to class regularly. enough talk about the academics. Now let's talk more about the student lives. So Gung, can you show us about the student life here at Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, do you want to find out about that? Let's go. Sitting at the cafeteria here brings me back all the feels. And I had such a great time today visiting the University of Technology with Gung.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes on IFO On The Go.
Thank you very much, Phương An. And well, it's always great and always very fresh for me to see new students starting to make big decisions in their lives. And I wonder if Haley Tống still remembers a younger version of Tống Khánh Linh who is still figuring out life before, you know, becoming the strong, independent woman that you are today. So what was it like in that young and new time for you? And I also heard of a story where you quit university very soon after you started. So can you tell me a little bit about that time period?
I was studying in Australia, Sydney, when I was 17, I remember. And then just almost a years, I decided to go back in Vietnam. I think I quit because I didn't, I didn't tell my parents no that I sneaky to go back. But that decision happened when I think about because the decision when I study abroad is not mine, from my parents. And when I study in Australia, I feel depressed a lot. And sometimes feel really sad and think really bad. And I feel like if I'm not coming back to Vietnam, maybe I'm not the person who I am today. So I feel lucky that I make it. But I don't, convince everyone to do the same.
Yeah.
Guys still want to get back to school and study, continue study. And when you mentioned it about like how my young person when I was young, I honestly not really remember because. So that's why I wish that I have a diary. Yeah, because the diary can keep all the things that suffered when I was young, but I didn't have. But somehow for now, a major persons, I write a diary a lot. But I think it's still the same. The person inside, I'm still a curiosity person. I love to, somehow always looking for the space in the school, and to observation everything happen. Like I like to watching people talking together, chatting, and playing something, like even playing gym and basketball, for example, because I was in the basketball team in the school too.
Wow.
Yeah, and even now I'm not really remember much things, but I feel like still the same persons. Like I was very independent person because my mom was not too close to me when I was young, so I have to do everything by myself. So I think because of that, I became the person right now. Like I try to do, break everything. And I dare to do everything. Yeah.
Ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
So was it difficult when you started to break the mold? I think especially since we are Asian children, there are certain expectations placed upon us. Well,
Your parents. I somehow I didn't feel so difficult for me because I told you that I was really independent when I was young. Like even I have to cook for myself if there is no person in the house. So when I study about what is difficult for me, like how to adapt with the new culture, the new person who I live with. But the most difficult time for me that when I start with the existence and question like who am I and why am I here? Because I feel you know the feeling when you get lost. But when I decide to get back to Vietnam, I think that's happened. The answer. And I find out that it doesn't matter what is your answer. I found it's matter for me when you get the right question at the right time. Because if everything happened at the right time, things get to start in the perfect way.
So for our final question of the day, I would like to ask if you ever regret not getting a university education. And if you could go back to have a university education, what would you choose to learn?
Yeah, I love that question. I do. I did regret sometimes. You know, in the journey when you do business and you do so many fields, you find out like so many smart persons around you, especially in sustainability fields that I work with. And they could be, master of something, and I feel like, oh, I wish to get back to school to study more, So perhaps we regret about those things, but those things happened in the past, and now we live in the present. And I feel like, okay, why we can, set the goals in the future and then continue studying. And when I was in university, I studied business management, but I was thinking about switching to interior designer. But that's what 8 years ago. But for now, I think about if I study the other subject, I think I can study education in architecture. Yeah,
that's very interesting. I myself am still in school. I think I've kind of guessed at my major because I'm in a liberal arts education. So I've chosen to double major. I'm taking arts and media and also social sciences. But I think that is kind of like the umbrella terms for education and also interior designing art. So I genuinely am very inspired by all that you've shared today. And thank you so much for joining IELTS Face Off. It's been my personal honor to have you here with us. And also, I believe that Heli has continuously inspired the youth and the young people of today's social media scape and also a social scape in general, because she genuinely believes in what she does and she internalizes it until it becomes a part of you and continues to spread the good values that you believe in that way. And I think all of us can take a lesson in that. So that has been Heli Tong's philosophy in life, and it is deeply related to the green lifestyle. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, I have a little challenge for Heli, and it will test how well connected we are.
Come and ignite your passion. Ignite your passion.
Next on IFO Nightly Show.
After, we've talked a bit, I feel like we vibe. I feel like we vibe on
Yes, we do.
Yeah, on a first page.
Yeah, you do. Oh, I don't want to hurt.
Held on a green plate. The item seems like it's not ready.
Okay, so it's
Welcome back to IFO Challenge. So, you guys, throughout this episode, after, we've talked a bit, I feel like we vibe. I feel like we vibe on
we do.
Yeah, on a very special level. I have a very special game to test how well we connect with each other. And it's called the Truth or Lie game. So I've had the IFO crew prepare 2 items. They're going to be very strange items. And I am going to look at that item and describe it to you. You have to tell if I'm lying or telling you the truth.
Okay.
And then you'll do the same for me. But I'll go first.
Okay.
And let's have the item. Okay, so this item has a conical shape. Like it is shaped like a cone. It looks like an inverted ice cream cone. And it's very bright in colors. It looks like a weird snail. And
Seems like now you're not trying to describe the real thing.
yeah, it's being held on a blue plate. The item seems like it's not very heavy. Okay, and that's all the description that I'm gonna give you. Am I telling the truth or not?
Oh, I have to admit, I'm the kind of person who really trusts people, so I think you're telling the truth.
Well, now we'll see if your trust in people pays off. The item, please.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's interesting.
It's a weird-looking pig.
You're right. But you would describe it look like ice cream, but didn't.
But I said it looks like an inverted ice cream, like you face it this way. It
Yeah.
looks a bit like an ice cream cone.
But it doesn't matter because I'm still
Well,
the win person.
Well, I just didn't want to make it hard on you, you know? Well, we'll see if Helly is going to lie with me. And let's see the next item.
Yes.
Right, so it's your turn.
Yeah, so my turn. So do you trust me? Look at my eyes. Do you trust me?
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
I don't want to hurt you, but okay. So it looks like, oh my god, I forgot to bring it. Where's my glasses? It is for the colors is yellow and the pink. I don't know exactly what it's there. It looks like a black, I think, and the shape is just like oval, not oval. It's square, oval. Oh, now I see. Like we have to wear it every day, and I don't know what exactly the things that wear that. It look like animal, some kind of animal. Sorry, I cannot see. But anyway, time out. Do I tell the truth or lie?
I think it's too convoluted to be a lie. Like it's too complicated to be a lie. I think you're just telling the truth. It's just a very weird object.
You will know, but the answer is I'm telling the truth. So you was right.
Yay! She lied to me.
Okay, can I get the item, please? Yeah. Now you know. What is that?
What? What
Look
now?
at the reaction. What is that? I was like,
oh, it's a buffalo.
yeah, but I didn't see because too far, and I was like, at the first moment, I would recognize the mask and was like, what is that?
Y'all are weird, okay?
Yeah, I have to say that I also have prepared so many weird
Strange.
stuff. Yeah.
This has been a strange game.
But anyway, we just ordered. That's
Okay.
why
See, we vibe on a very genuine level. That's why we trust. And mission accomplished. We both won the game because we have mutual trust.
yeah. So blessed.
So there you have it, another episode of IFO Nightly Show Student Edition. And thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing with us how you live your life, how you claim your identity, and how you turn green lifestyle into something that you truly believe in and want to, multiply, maximize to others. And I think this has been a very warming, a very fulfilling episode because you have brought such inspiration to us all. And since this is the episode right before Christmas, right? We really want to spread the joy and spread the Christmas spirit to our audience. And can you say a few words to our audience and wish them a Merry Christmas?
Yeah, sure. So, okay, well, I think that Christmas is one of my favorite festivals. Not just because that is my favorite season, because I like winter. But, like Christmas is happen the end of the year, and then you know that you have to get started the new year is coming. And it's also the time for you to, surrounding with your parents, get back and connecting back to your friends and rethink what have you done this year. So I hope that you can have health is really important for now, and I wish you all the best. All the journey ahead is really full of luck. Thank you and Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! And once again, thank you Helly so much, and thank you to my beautiful new co-host Phương An. And we are very excited for all the episodes to come on IFO Nightly Show, Student Edition. Bye!
See ya!
Viva Student Life.
I can be here all alone, rainy Christmas, 'cause your love broke my heart, my dreams. I can feel the lonely night, rainy Christmas, all alone in the falling rain. How did we die with a lonely goodbye? Never can my Christmas be white. Why did I cry? How can my heart survive? I can never be the one that you loved before. I can see the lonely times, rainy Christmas. There's no place for a long embrace. I can be a lonely star, rainy Christmas, shining bright in your keep kissing me under the mistletoe. Pour out the wine, let's toast and pray for December snow. I know there's been pain this year, but it's time to let it go. Next year you never know. But for now, Merry Christmas. We'll dance in the kitchen while embers glow. We both know love, this love we got is the best of all. I wish you could see it through my eyes, then you would know. My God, you look beautiful right now. Merry Christmas. I feel it when it comes. Every year helping us carry on. Filled up with so much love. All the family friends are together where we all belong. Merry Christmas, everyone. Christmas time for you and I. We have a good night and a Merry Christmas. It's Christmas time for you and I. We have a good night and a Merry Christmas. It's Christmas time for you and I. We have a good night and a Merry Christmas. It's Christmas time for you and I. We have a good night and a Merry Christmas time.
It's a very weird looking pig.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was an ice cream, like from afar.
Yeah, it does not look like ice cream, honestly.
Okay.
Sorry to say that, but it's just a...
Next item.
I'm going to be a university. Để em nói lại. Em xin lỗi.
And vâng ạ.